Hello friends, today in this video we are going to learn certain techniques as to how to put pressure on acupressure points. The techniques that we are going to share with you are mostly being researched and being practiced by Orissa Swasthya Seva Sangh, the organization that practices and is doing research for the last 27 years. So, mostly this research research or the techniques that I am going to share with you are being developed by Orissa Swasthya Seva Sangh. So, today we will learn as to what are the procedures, what are the techniques as to how to put pressure. So, the first thing that we are going to know or learn is that where are these points located on the body. We are talking about acupressure reflexology. So, the acupressure reflexology points are located on the surface of the hand, that is on the palm, and on the surface of the sole, that is the foot. So, on these two locations, on these two areas, the points are found. So, there are 39 numbers of points. Likewise, there are meridian points also, which are located on different parts of the body. You can say almost everywhere in the body these points are located. But today we will focus on acupressure reflexology points that are located on the surface of the hand and on the surface of the palm. So, the first thing is how to hold the hand of a patient, or if you are treating yourself, how to hold it. Suppose you are treating a patient and the patient is sitting in front of you. Then what you need to do is that make the patient relax first. That is the first thing that you need to do, is that to make the patient very relaxed. He should be very relaxed, not very tensed. Fine. Then you hold his hand. Then by holding his hand like this, you then there are 2 points, that is that 2 areas, hand and sole. So either you have to hold the hand or this sole, that is the foot. Suppose you are holding the hand. So, by holding the hand, you need to locate the points, which points you need to put pressure. So, first thing is that how to give pressure. There are instruments which you can use, but particularly we use one kind of instrument which is called jimmy. It is a wooden instrument which is known as jimmy. Okay, it looks like a mushroom, and we usually give in that by using that instrument. So, we put pressure like this, or you can give it with your thumb like this. With the thumb you need to put pressure. So, where to use these instruments or where not to use this instrument? These instruments are used only on the surface of the palm and the sole, not here, because these are very soft, tender areas, these are very soft tissue. So, here only your thumb is to be used to give pressure, not the instrument. That is instrument. Instrument has to be avoided on these areas. Next thing is that suppose you are treating a kid, a small child, or you are treating a elderly person. So, you have to take a note of this, that in these two conditions you need not have to use that instrument, because in a kid, in a child, the tissues are very soft, very tender, and also in elderly people the tissues are very tender. So, you need to use your thumb to give pressure, for if you are treating a kid or a elderly person. So, now how to give, what is the direction of it? Suppose this is point number 28, that is adrenal. So, how you need to give pressure? Suppose you need to give pressure like this, 90 degree. So, you can say that 95% points are placed in a direction of 90 degree, and that is not to be rotated like this. The pressure is not to be rotated like this or to be pumped like this. What we practice, what we have, the outcome of our research is that when we pump like this and when you put constant pressure like this, the result is very effective if we put pressure constant like this, instead of putting like this pumping kind of a thing. Okay. So, what you have to do is that you have to put pressure like this, constant pressure, for how many time and its duration, that is for 10 to 15 seconds. So, what you can do is that you can count, suppose 1, 2 you can count, or the best way is to count from 100, 101, 102, 103, like that you go on counting till 115. So, each point which you have targeted to treat is to be pressed for 10 to 15 seconds, not more than that. Okay, you can give, but that won't give you, I mean say very, extra result or something, but it should not be pressed less than 10 seconds. It has to be pressed for 10 to 15 seconds at least. So, this is duration of pressure and quantum of pressure. How much you need to give pressure, that depends on the person you are treating and according to his resistance power. For suppose he is an athlete, he is a bodybuilder, obviously his his tissues will be very stiff and very hard, and suppose he is a very tender person, very sensitive skin. So, the quantum of pressure depends on the person. So, how to give? So, when you put pressure, just hold like this. Suppose this is point number 3 pituitary, you hold like this, go on pressing it like this, then you will find the tender point. Then what will happen is that when you point tenderness in the point, then there would be a reaction in the patient. What is the reaction? The basic reaction is facial reaction. The eyes will get closed, and he will create a sound, or his facial expression will change. Then you will know that okay, this is the level, I should not go beyond this. Okay, you have to control that. If you go beyond that and you put more pressure, then maybe there would be tissue damage, it will get very sore, very tender, and the next day the patient or the person will get scared to come to you for treatment. So, what you need to do is that you have to be very careful, you have to be a very tender kind of a point. It should not hurt someone, okay, it should be a very pleasurable thing, never hurt someone. Then the thing is that which time of the day you need to give pressure, which time of the day. Day does not matter, morning, evening, any day, any time of the day you can give. And if it is before food, after food, better if it is not after heavy meals. After breakfast you can give, but if it is emergency, no rules. Even if it is emergency and you need to give pressure, then go on and treat that person. Even if he has taken a heavy meal lunch and you need to treat that person, it is an emergency case, then no rule, you need to treat. But in usual normal condition, better to treat, not to treat immediately after heavy meal. Okay. Then the next question is how many sittings you need to give, I mean for how long. It depends on the person, the disease, for how long that person is suffering from that disease, the age factor, what kind of job he is into, profession. Suppose for example, a person, a laborer who is working, who is working daily, okay, in a building or somewhere, so, and he has a back pain and you treat him. So, but he has to feed himself, to feed his family, he need to go to the to work. So, there he is not getting rest. So, for in that case it will take longer time. Suppose a person comes and he has the liberty of taking rest. So, obviously he will get cured at a short span of time. So, lot of things comes into account, that is age, gender, profession, your socio-economic condition, for how long you are suffering, whether it is acute or chronic, and what other diseases you have. But these things taken into account will determine as to how long it will take for a person to get cured. So, these are the basic things that we need to know, that these are the techniques as to how to treat a person. Suppose a person comes, we need to follow these basic things to treat a person. So, this is all about the techniques of how to give pressure. In the next video and the following subsequent videos, we will learn each and every point's location and how it helps us. Thank you.